Hello friends, I'm Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. I still feel like garbage. There was some stabilized and then unstabilized Cinewhoop footage from earlier this year. Or maybe last year, no, earlier this year. Yeah, I've still got the coronavirus, and it's just ruining my life. It's not ruining my life. I just feel like garbage. I feel like crap. Hold on. I forgot to hit the buttons for the lights. Look at these boring ass lights. Hold on. Hold on. No more boring lights. Here we go. That's better. Hold on. Maggie and Sage are at the ER in the waiting room. Okay. Welcome from the infirmary. Yeah. 3 of us have coronavirus. One of us is in the ER because he can't hold food down. Hasn't been able to for weeks. I don't know what's happening. There's the sickness is trying to kill us all. I don't get it. I don't get it, man. But whatever. We'll just keep being sick. in chat. Paul McDonald was first. Jolly Colt was next. David Ciotti, my father, is in chat. What's up, Dad? J Drones, Fly High FPV is here as well. Everybody check out flyhighfpv.com. I think that's the URL. Might just be flyhigh.com. It's probably flyhighfpv.com. Ramdonko, Mr. Huggy, Rock Crawler, Alec Dvornik, CMYK FPV, Dusty Joe, 8-Bit. Those are two separate people. Mr. Huggy, Fly High again, Jolly Colt again, Aaron FPV, Northern Tier, Rock Crawler. It is flyhighfpv.com. And Aaron FPV. Buzzy static in the audio. That's because this is lawn. I accidentally overcharged the lithium ion in here, so I was just letting the radio run for a little while. Hey, just so you know, if you get a lithium ion battery, they don't want to be charged up to 4.2. There's a lithium ion setting on your charger. All it does is change the cutoff from 4.2 per cell to 4.1 per cell. I've overcharged this battery probably half a dozen times, and it's completely fine. But yeah, it's not good for it. In the same way that overcharging lipos is not good for them, but you can do it a couple of times and kind of get away with it. So yeah, you can either just pull it off the charger early. Like, so I charge this battery with all of the other 2S batteries. And what I'll usually do is throw them all on the charger. If I'm not being lazy, I'll change the setting to lithium ion, and then that way it'll cut all the batteries off at 4.1. I'll then take this battery off, leave the other ones on, change it back to LiPo. When I'm being lazy, I will just leave it on LiPo and just like kind of check back on it every once in a while. And once all of the batteries get up towards 4.1, I'll just pull this one off, and then I can let the rest of them go. It's, you know, depending on how good you are about checking on things, that's how you can decide what you're going to do there. Hey, so welcome to Whoop Wednesday. We're going to be trying out a different set of... God damn it, I forgot to put batteries on the charger again. This is 2 streams in a row that I've forgotten to put Tiny Whoop batteries on the charger a couple hours ahead of time. Fart bag eponymous. We'll be fine tonight because it's going to take a while to direct solder these stupid motors on because Happy Model have lost their minds and they expect us to direct solder motors. But yeah, we'll be all right. Mobula6 HDZero is currently on Happy Model/tinywhoop.com EX. Tiny Whoop calls them Hex. EX 0802s. These are the lightweight 0802s in 30,000 kV. The power is great. I love the power, but it's still too heavy. This is as heavy as it ships. It comes with EX 0802, the same motors, but in 19,000 kV, which is hysterically low. Like, it's a big fat heavy rig because of the extra 4-point-something grams from HDZero versus Analogue, and then you put like the lowest kV motors on it. I'm pretty sure that Happy Model did it so that they could get some runtime out of it because people seem to people seem to care more about runtime than flight characteristics, which is kind of insane to me. But yeah, we're gonna move this tonight over to 0702 30,000 kV motors. Which should save us almost 2 grams. And I'm hoping it's going to give us a little bit more runtime as well. It will certainly give us more runtime because we're saving so much weight. This current setup is going to be your best bet if you're kind of flying it outside. But if you're flying this outside, you should probably get the Mobula6 version of this. So if you're going to be flying this inside, the only real reason for this setup is if you kind of value power over everything else. The power is great on this setup with these biblades. You could probably also put triblades on it, but I really dig it on these biblades. And yeah, the power is great. And if you're flying this in like a warehouse or something like that, to be honest, this is probably the setup. But the basement here at the house is small enough that this just feels a little too heavy. It just has a little too much momentum. It makes like accurately doing big gnarly shit very difficult. So yeah, we're gonna change it and see how it is with a much lighter motor. This is 24.6 grams all up. That is with a kind of sort of a heavy antenna, but HDZero really seems to need this antenna. Without a really good antenna like this, I'm getting all kinds of breakup, even like 5 feet away in the basement here. So yeah, it's the HDZero. I mean, if you're gonna have the HDZero setup, it might as well be good. You know, like the point of having HDZero is for it to have really good quality video, and with the crappy little whip antennas, or even with the tiny whoop small antennas, the performance is just not great. So yeah, Jesus Christ, these fucking text messages telling me to vote for Herschel dumbfuck have got to end. We need to stop electing people with brain damage. So yeah, that's the plan for tonight. If you'd like to speak directly to me in the chat, all you got to do is type CiottiFPV. If you do that, it'll light up an orange like this, and we'll talk directly. Otherwise, I'll assume that you guys are talking amongst yourselves. This is my full-time job. I rely on support from beautiful people like you to keep on doing this all day, every day. If you'd like to see these live streams continue, head on over to CiottiFPV.com. Patreon helps me out the most, and it's the cheapest for you, and there's the least amount of like percentages that get taken out of it. You can join up on the Patreon for 10 cents a day. It's $3 a month, and that'll get you all kinds of benefits. A big old Patreon-only playlist here on YouTube with like sketchy flying, half-finished edits, Patreon-only live streams, all kinds of good stuff. There's a couple of Facebook groups you're going to get invited to. There's a Discord channel you're going to get invited to where you can hang out with all these beautiful bastards from chat. You're going to get email notifications every single time I live stream, including the Patreon-only live streams. All kinds of good stuff for 10 whole pennies a day. There's a bunch of other things over on CiottiFPV.com. There's a bunch of affiliate links when you're doing orders for pretty much anything on the internet. Think about your content creator friends and see if there's an affiliate link somewhere that you can click on before you check out. It's free money, and we use it to continue doing what we're doing, which is, in most cases, making free content for you to watch. So if you can spare 3 seconds, try to find an affiliate link when you're doing an order online. I have an Amazon affiliate link, GetFPV, FPV Cycle, Oh My God's website, Flywoo's website, and a couple of others. They're all listed out over on the website. I also have a Fiverr page. If you want to work one-on-one with me, we can plan your build out so that you stop buying the wrong $80 ESC that catches on fire because it's a piece of junk from a company that has really good marketing but shitty quality control. We can work together in the simulator. If you want to fly a little bit better, we can work on tuning as well. And then I've also got an Etsy store with a bunch of fun stickers. There are no sticker packs right now. I got to make a bunch more sticker packs, but there's a whole bunch of stickers on the Etsy store that you can get. This is actually sold out. This one says Nut Grabber. This one is Clam Man. Because you know what?
諦めんなよ。諦めんなよ。諦めんなお前。どうしてそこでやめるんだそこで。もう少し頑張ってみろよ。ダメ諦めたら周りのことを思うよ。応援してる人たちのことを思ってみろって。あともうちょっとのところなんだから。俺だってこのマイナス10度のところしじみが取れるって頑張ってんだよ。 絶対やってみろ。必ず目標達成できる。だからこそネバギブ。
Good Lord, do I need that right now? I almost canceled the live stream tonight. I just feel horrible, and like I'm so behind on stuff, and like, yeah, but we shall persevere and do some work on the Mobula6. Hey, we're also going to take a look at some flight footage. Over here in the bench cam is showing you guys the top of the lamp, unfortunately, but also I got a couple of rigs back together. The Vista Pick is built and functioning for the first time ever. This has been like a 6-month-long build. This is a TP3 toothpick frame with a naked Vista, Nebula Pro Nano up top, RCInPower 1204 8000 kV motors. I have it running on 2S. This is an old school JHE MCU AIO that's kind of garbage. I have to have 2 capacitors on this AIO for the damn thing to work right. It's one of the older AIOs that were just kind of a mess. But it's flyable. It's not the best. There's definitely some electrical noise issues, but it's totally flyable. And this is actually on Ghost, believe it or not. We're going to take a look at a second in a little bit of flight footage from this. It's not bad. The one big issue I'm having is it keeps, when I try to drop altitude, it keeps winding up, and it's yeah, starting to charge forward on the way down from dives and stuff. Is that a toothpick thing? Do you guys have that issue with your toothpicks? I have not had a toothpick put together since like 2016, 2017, back when that was like my very original build that I spent years with refining and yeah, working on. Is that a thing? One of the solutions to that problem that Mark Spatz actually recently came across is to set it up, is to run props in. For some strange aerodynamic reason, props in drops altitude better than props out. Usually with non-ducted rigs, we don't really have that problem. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I'm having that issue with this. It could be yaw related. I'm going to try to not do props in yet. I'm going to try to break out yaw from, turn yaw off in the sliders, and then just basically double my yaw P and I gain. And that might help. And if it helps just enough, I'll leave it props out. Because without ducts, there is the advantage of props out, where if you hit a stick, the propellers are going to try to push the stick out of the way rather than pulling the stick in. So yeah, I would rather not go to props in with this, but if I have to, I will, because I shouldn't really be crashing this through sticks and whatnot, because it's a toothpick. Other than that, yeah, I'm pretty surprised at how good this thing flies. It's relatively quiet. It does make considerably more noise than the 1S analog toothpicks. Go figure. This is a bunch heavier. Speaking of, what does it weigh? It's pretty fat. I mean, the Vista, even taken apart, the Vista is a big fat chunk of double PCB. So we're coming in at 73 grams, which is fat for a toothpick, but man, it handles it just fine. Like the 3-inch props. I really don't like the toothpicks that are like, so far, this is my favorite flying toothpick ever because it's heavy. Like when they're lighter weight, they just have absolutely no throw whatsoever. And it's just a completely different flying experience. This has a little bit more to do. Like this is a little bit more similar to the flight experience that you get with all of your other quads, because it actually has a little bit of weight and a little bit of throw and a little bit of slidiness. So yeah, I actually really enjoy the way that this flies. I really don't like the way that any of these super lightweight toothpicks fly. They're a whole separate thing. They're a whole separate set of muscle memory that you have to learn, and I'm never gonna put enough stick time into a little tiny toothpick rig to like get used to it and build a separate set of muscle memory in my head around it. I also don't like to do that. I like to try to have as few sort of rigs as possible, as few part combinations as possible, so that in my brain, my stuff is all as similar as possible, so that there's the smallest amount of adjustment period between each one of them. One of the worst things that you can do if you're trying to improve as a pilot is to have a dozen completely different rigs, and every single time you go out and fly, you gotta like, oh, which one is this? Oh, okay, what does this one do? This one has that weird issue where it does this. It's not all that heavy. It's lighter than the last rig I was just flying. So if I'm gonna throw it over a tree, I need to throw it harder, and like that's bad. Like if you're trying to be a better pilot, the best thing you can actually do is just fly one rig, is to build multiples of the exact same rig and just fly that. Fly 1,000 batteries in a row on that exact setup. That's how you get good as a pilot. And that's also how you kind of like stay good and continue to get better as a pilot. Eventually, you know, it's kind of hard to see the improvement, but there is always going to be improvement. Unless you're flying all kinds of different rigs. Like I've found that when I go through these periods where like every time I go out and fly, it's a different rig, I don't progress at all as a pilot. And arguably I get worse because all of my mental energy is going into trying to adjust rather than rather than being used to something and just learning like the nuances of it. So also the lightweight Rip Squeak is put back together on these FlyFishRC 1404s. I put 2 batteries through it. I pushed it pretty hard in the front yard with both batteries, and these motors are totally fine. So there's a really decent chance that the motor that cooked on this rig was because the ESC blew up. It totally could have been the motor letting go and then bringing the ESC with it. There's no way to tell. But it's much more of a 50-50 at this point. It's not quite 50-50 because the rig was totally fine, and then I desoldered one set of motors and soldered these set of motors on without touching the ESC at all, and after 1 1/4 batteries it blew up. So chances actually kind of still are that 1404 let go and that took the ESC with it. But that happens sometimes. Sometimes motors let go. So yeah, these I've actually crashed these a bunch already, and they're holding up pretty good. I don't see any wobble in the bells yet. So I'm going to continue to beat on this thing and see how these Flyfish 1404 4500 kV motors are that they very kindly sent me. So that's pretty cool. This also kind of renews my confidence in the Flyfish motors, which is good because the other set of motors that they sent me are these big ass 2806.5s, which I'm going to be putting onto 7-inch biblades pretty soon here on the Cineglide up there. I'm also going to run these on the I'm going to put these on the Cineglide one of these nights this week actually, and I'm going to run these on the Gemfan 5552s. I have a feeling that they might be really good on those propellers, although I did get the lower KV on these. I got 1350 KV, so that might not be enough KV for those propellers, but I have a funny feeling it is. They're 5.5, 55, and they're 52 pitch. They are big, thick, paddle-bladed bastards. So yeah, maybe that lower KV will be okay on those motors. I know that this lower KV will be fine on 7-inch props. I don't know if it'll be okay on 7-inch biblades. It'll definitely be okay on 7-inch triblades. I don't know if that's enough stator volume for 7-inch triblades though. So there's a couple of things going on. The only real way to figure it out is to get them up in the air and get to testing. Let's take a quick look at some of the footage from the toothpick. I'm going to pull the chat off onto the other screen, and that way I can put the toothpick flying up here full screen. What? October 31st. That ain't right. July 6th. That ain't right. Tell me you didn't record. Is this it? This is analog footage. What? Hold on. Where's the... There it is. Okay, so this is going to be the little Vista Pick. Let me delete the SRT files here. That's me clearing off the walkway. Here we go. Here it is. All right, so yeah, here's a little bit of the... I haven't actually watched this yet. Yeah, again, 1204 RCInPower, 8000 kV motors on. So this would be the battery on. This would be the Tattoo 2S 350 mAh battery. Let me take a look. Yes, Talon FAF 350 mAh 2S is this battery. Man, I almost, as I was getting closer, I was like, isn't there a tree here? And then I saw the scraggle at the last second and got the hell out of there. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this, man. The sliders are completely stock. So you can see there, it does have a little bit of prop wash. It could use a little bit of extra PID gain. Unfortunately, there's too much electrical noise for that. So this is about as aggressive as I can get with the PID tune, and it's pretty good. I mean, you know, this is more of just like a for fun kind of rig. This isn't something that I'm gonna try to, you know, make a cinematic masterpiece out of the footage of. So yeah, this can kind of hang out here as it is until the AIO inevitably blows up. Once this AIO blows up, I will replace it with a more current AIO. And then I should be able to get the tune a little bit more locked in. But as it is for right now, as like an experiment, I'm pretty happy with it, man. I usually don't like the way that I'm usually much less of a fan of the way that toothpicks kind of fly. This has me kind of excited to yeah, do some more toothpicking. It's just. Yeah, it's got some throw. It's got some slide. It flies a lot like the other stuff that I'm usually ripping around. So very cool. It's nice and quiet. You know, this is something that I can rail around the neighborhood like this without anybody getting pissed off, which is great. Not that they've. I mean, I've talked to. I guess I have talked to all the neighbors at this point, and they're totally cool. They think the quad thing is hysterical and they love it. I'm super respectful about it. Like. You know, I only fly every 2 or 3 days, and I typically only fly like 4 or 5 batteries at a time. You know, I'm not out there for hours railing away. So yeah, there's a little bit of flying there, and then here's another battery with much more like just me kind of screwing around. This is RPM filters on. I do have it filtered pretty heavily. I've got the gyro filter at like 1.5, and then I've got the D-term filter at 1.0. Again, this older AIO, it's just got a lot of electrical noise and not many capacitors on board. So yeah, the trade-off is you got to add a bunch of filtering. I think I've got 3 of the dynamic notches on too. But yeah, I don't really feel any significant latency or anything like that, and it flies pretty decent. It's certainly not perfect. It's definitely like the worst tune wise. It's the worst of the rigs that I have, but it's just, you know, it can only output DJI. I'm chickening out of the dive down to the roof. It's only going to have DJI, so it's never going to have like 4K or anything like that. I mean, this does look really good. But yeah, I don't need it to be completely, absolutely 100% locked in right now. It's sort of more of an experiment. Down the road, we'll get it dialed in a little bit more. I mean, look, there's fucking motor in view. Look at the, well, you can't see it behind my face, but yeah, there's motor in view of the footage coming out of this thing. Like, it's not something that, there we go. So there it was. So I wish you could hear it, and you can barely see it, but this is where it winding up when it was dropping altitude almost bit me in the ass. Did I miss it? I missed it. This would have been a completely clean dive here, but it just started to wind the motors up when it was falling down here, and it was just pulling me up towards that tree. Like I had enough rearward momentum where I should have been in that bigger part of the gap, dropping down onto our roof. But yeah, it just got upset, and it was making thrust when I didn't want it to. So yeah, those of you that are sort of toothpick specialists, let me know. Is that something that you run into on these things? I don't ever remember that issue from years and years and years ago, but man, everything was different back then. So there's a chance that I just didn't notice it. Or the other thing that it could be, and now that I think about it, what it probably is that this tune is just on the edge. Like there's the electrical noise issues, and this tune is pushed about as far as it can be. And when you do that, any little bit of vibration will really make the tune go kind of apeshit. So that's probably my guess as to why I have that going on. I'll try to put a Band-Aid on it with some more. Yeah, here's me clearing off the walkway. Yeah, I'll try to put a Band-Aid on that, but or maybe I'll just what I'll probably do is I'll put a battery through it with the yaw P and I gains doubled, see how that is, and then I'll pull the master multiplier down to like 0.9 and see how that is. Right now, all the filter sliders are at 1.0 other than feed forward, which I always pull down to like 0.5, 0.6, 0.7. But yeah, that is a completely stock tune, fairly stock filters too. Betaflight 4.3 is just brilliant. Like all of the stock default values are amazing. Days of needing to tune are pretty much gone. Like if you've put together a rig with a half decent mechanical system, battery voltage, motors, and propellers that are a good match, you just don't need to tune anymore. If you do a bad job with your mechanical system, you might need to tune. In my opinion, you shouldn't. In my opinion, you should fix the mechanical system, because you'll never be able to get the tune adjusted to fix that. Like you can only polish a turd so much. It's still a turd. So always focus on fixing the mechanical system and having a good functioning mechanical system before you pour hours and hours and hours of your life into screwing around with the tune to try to get it somewhat acceptable. The amount of time that you're putting into the tune, you could spend that time making some money to then fix the mechanical system if that's the issue. If the issue is money, which believe me, I get it. So yeah, that's how you get a rig that flies better. Let me get caught up on chat while I spit this memory card out here. J Drone says yellow. Mr. Huggy says it's only 10 p.m. CiottiFPV is an hour early. No, should be 6 on Wednesdays, right? Wednesdays at 6. Yeah, 6 Eastern. I used to be 8 o'clock on Wednesdays, but it's nice to stream a little bit earlier. And according to the analytics, more of my subscribers are online on YouTube at 4 and 5 o'clock. So in theory, there will be more people available to kind of hang out and watch this. Also, I like to have different streams at different times of the day, because then different people can catch them, right? Monday night, we've got 10 o'clock, so night owls can catch the Monday night stream. Wednesday is 6 p.m., so like folks in Europe and whatnot it's easier for them to catch this stream. Friday is at 7 o'clock, kind of in between there, and then Sunday is at 3 o'clock. That's really good for sort of the rest of the world. 5 o'clock. Yeah, 3 o'clock. And it also kind of helps me to stream at different times. So chat just got buried. Where's it at? Rockcrawler says hey. Alec Dvornik says hello to you and the collective. CMYK FPV says still adapting to the time shift for the streams. Oh god, that's true. Yeah, CMYK just moved from Florida to California, so all these streams are 3 hours earlier for him. Northern Tier says hello. Hope you guys are all feeling better. Who else is sick? Who else is sick in chat? Jolly Colt very kindly says you look like $1,000,000 though, Ciotti, don't stress. Yeah, I just took a shower. I always look decent after a shower. Aaron FPV says getting a buzzy stack in the audio. Thank you, brother. J. Drone says, can the weather getting a lot colder affect a quad's tune? Absolutely. My motors have started warbling. Might be a physical problem, though. So the colder air is going to affect the tune in the positive direction, not in the negative direction, in that the motors will stay cooler. So if you have a tune that's like on the edge and in the summertime your motors are getting hot, now that the temperature is coming down, the colder air will keep the motors cooler so they won't saturate as bad. So yeah, the only possible thing I can think of, so you're the opposite of that. You're having problems. The only possible thing that could be causing what you're dealing with is the air is now more dense, but I don't think that's it. I really doubt that the air is that much denser right now, that it would kind of cause an issue. You never know, but those two things are kind of working against each other, right? Like the air is more dense, so the way you want to think about it is that the PID tune it can grab onto air a little bit easier, like it can push against the air a little bit easier, but then the motors are going to stay cooler, which is going to kind of help the situation. So yeah, I think you've got something else going on, is my guess. Christopher Robin says, he didn't tag me, so he asked this question more for chat, but I'll jump in because it's a great question. He asked, what motor should I go with on a diamond? Unfortunately, well, if it's an ELRS diamond, unfortunately, you should stick with a lower kV motor because the ELRS diamond has electrical noise issues, in my experience, and the higher kV motors can be too much for the amount of electrical noise that thing has got. If you're willing to run an external capacitor, it fixes the issue, but it's kind of insane to run an external capacitor on a tiny whoop. So yeah, unless you're willing to run a cap, which I would not recommend doing that. Yeah, you're going to want to stick with like, the maximum I would do is like 22,000 kV. Happy Model puts like 19,000 kV motors on their rigs with AIOs that have electrical noise problems. The Mobula6 HDZero and the Mobeetle. They seem to do that because they know that that's an issue, and that's a way to keep that issue at bay. Brandon's Baked Beans did some logging with an open logger for us on my ELRS diamond, and yeah, he was able to see these issues, and he had it was really tough for him to get it tuned up. He did eventually get it tuned up on a higher kV motor than 22,000, but I'm willing to bet that yeah, many of us that have tried to go up to really high kV motors on those diamond ELRS AIOs have had issues, unfortunately. So yeah, unfortunately, you got to keep the power under control. This is why I really like the full-size Mobula6 ELRS AIO, the one that you get with the regular old Mobula6 ELRS. That AIO is awesome. I've got 30,000 kV 0702s, 0802s on those, and they're just brilliant. And the weight penalty is only 0.5 gram between the diamond and the... wait, no. Yeah, it is. It's only 0.5 gram weight difference, and with the full size Mobula6 AIO, you also get a UFL port for your video antenna, so you can run a proper video antenna rather than the janky ass little piece of shitty wire that you get with the diamond. So you can get much better video performance out of the full-size Mobula6 ELRS AIO. So yeah, also here's the other thing, like, so don't, this is not me trying to get you to switch away from that diamond. Run that diamond. They're very unreliable. It will definitely blow up at some point, probably pretty quickly. Like, the chat is filled with people that are on their 3rd and 4th diamond ELRS AIOs. So yeah, run that thing until it inevitably blows up, and then don't buy another one, in my opinion. Buy one of the full-size ones, and you'll have a much better experience. Cole Powers says, I hear Bubby has some new motors. That's pretty cool. What are they, Cole? Are they 5-inch motors? Are they little motors? What they be? J-Drone says, only happens on full punch-outs. Motors are warbling on full punch-outs. Oh, okay. Well, there's an easy solution to that, J-Drones. Just turn up your TPA. Go into your rates tab, and the stock TPA value is either 0.65 or 0.75. If it's currently at 0.65, move it up to 0.75. If it's currently at 0.75, move it up to 0.85, and that should take care of that problem. Spander says, hey. Michael D says, happy Whoop Wednesday. Frank Nicholas dropped in the link CiottiFPV.com. Thank you, brother. PJ says, what's up, gangly gang? Mr. Huggy says, did you know Flywoo do 4mm wide LED race wires in different lengths? I did. I don't like those 4mm wide ones. They're a little bit too narrow. I prefer these HGLRC guys. These are 5mm wide. I know that doesn't sound like a big difference, but man, it is. These pads. Well, here I'll compare it to the 4mm wide Flywoo ones for you. It's actually a really big difference. Like the 4mm wide ones, man, they are tough to solder to. These HGLRC ones are much more realistic. Also, the gap between the pads is much bigger on the HGLRC ones. So yeah, if you're gonna get, but what Flywoo does have that's brilliant is these 9x15 race wires. And these I absolutely love. These will work on like Cinesplores, Cinewhoops, 3-inch rigs, 4-inch rigs. These are absolutely brilliant. These little tiny guys are kind of only for toothpicks. And yeah, they're a real pain in the ass to put on. Totally doable, don't get me wrong. But when it comes to these little tiny guys, I'm all in on the HGLRC ones instead of the Flywoos. But if you're a really good solderer, you can make either one of them work. Zotek is in the house. We Bleed FPV has arrived. Huge shout out to Zotek and We Bleed for providing a big old box of goodies that have been going into giveaways for the past couple of weeks. I got more stuff. This coming Monday is going to be a giveaway stream. And there's going to be a full set of his brilliant gates. 4 gates, triangle, octagon, square, circle, made of this like incredible fabric material. They're super durable. They're also nice and big. I really like them. You're going to see them if these batteries finish charging. You're going to see I got the octagon one set up. We're going to fly through them in a little bit. Zotek says new 450 mAh 1S BT 2.0 battery ships this week. New We Bleed FPV site is live. Very cool. Yeah, We Bleed has moved to a different website, and well, not a different website, a different host. No, it's not a different host. It's a whatever new platform. That's it. A new web platform, and it's allowed them to also set up an affiliate setup. So I'm gonna have I think I already have a Weebleed affiliate link. I just got to go in and change something. I've been so behind from being sick. Yeah, that'll be another affiliate link on the list. So get you some, and so this battery that he's doing will be the first folded cell BT 2.0 450 mAh battery, which is pretty exciting because the only other option for BT 2.0 450 is the Beta FPV one, which is rolled cell and kind of sucks. So yeah, this battery will be a big deal for Mobula6's. and you should get some pretty ridiculous runtime out of that. Get your long-range tiny whooping in. A Cable says, hello, how's it hanging? Short shriveled to the left. What movie, friends? YouTube just did the thing. Scrolling back up to try to find my place. There it is. Juju says, just crashed my Darwin FPV baby ape into a super tall tree and it started raining, but I got a Mobula6 FR Sky. That sucks. Luckily, the rain won't really hurt it. The rain is fresh water. If it was saltwater rain, you'd be screwed. Maybe the rain will even knock it out of the tree. One of the things that kind of sucks, though, about micros is when they get stuck in trees, it's really hard to get them out. Typically, they'll eventually come out, and usually they're fine. The motors are always going to be fine. A lot of our electronics come from the factory conformal coated. If your electronics are shiny at all, they're already conformal coated. So yeah, usually when you leave a rig in a tree for a couple of weeks and it gets rained on, it comes down and it's kind of fine. It's just a little dirty. So you should be okay. The thing that can die more often than not is the camera. The cameras don't like getting condensation inside. But other than that, yeah, you should be good, brother. Juju also says, question, what connectors should I get? I ran out of connectors for my cameras. What are the connectors called? So, most of the retailers sell a connector kit, but half of the cameras use the one and half of the cameras use the other. There's two different connectors. So like if you get a pyro drone, for example, connector kit. Let's see if they still have it. Felix is down here watching Star Wars with headphones on, so if you hear anybody in the background, that's who it is. I don't see it here. Let's see if it's in here. No, let's try tools and building supplies. What I do is I just never throw away any cables or connectors, and then eventually you've got a little stash of them. Every time you purchase a flight controller or an ESC, right? Usually it'll come with like an extra connector. Save it. Never throw that stuff away. And eventually you'll have a whole bunch. And then as you break gear, cut connectors off of your broken gear. Let's see if Race Day Quads has it. Connector kit. Come on now. Well, so here's... Never mind, it's out of stock. So sometimes... It's out of stock. So here's what it's called. It's called JST-SH. It's also called JST-GH. Oh, look at that. They used to sell two different kits. JST-SH only, Mobula6/JST-SH/JST-GH. Let's try this. JST-SH kit. There you go. Pre-crimped JST-SH 1.0. Yeah, so this is the one. This is the one option. It depending on which camera you have, this might be the right one. Or oh yeah, there's a whole bunch of them. Now that you know what it's called, you'll be able to find it on the internet. JST-SH, and then the other one is JST-GH. You'll be able to find them. Let me just really quickly do this. JST-XH. Let me see what these look like. These are the balance plug size, so this is not what you want. Yeah, JST 2.54 is not what you want. This is the balance plugs. I mean, if you need replacement balance plugs, though, here you go. This is what those little fellas are. What is it called? JST-GH? Yeah, I'm sure with a Google search you can find it. Let's see. JST-GH. What are you? This looks like it might be GH. Yeah, it says GH there. So this would, I think this is the other kit. No, this is not. This is, these look like the connectors that the Immersion RC Tramp uses. Maybe? Somebody in chat will know. The answer is probably already in chat. So there, but there you go. Hold on, let me type for Mobula6 kit. God damn it. Mobula6 kit. Let me just make sure that that's not the. I don't think Mobula6 is. I think those are the bigger. Those are bigger ones. Yeah, no, that ain't it. That ain't it. So yeah, there you go. At the very least, try the JST-SH. That's, you got 50-50 shot that's that's the right one. You're gonna want one of those kits anyway because they just come in super handy. So, where was I at here? Brandon's Baked Beans. What's up, my friends? Brandon says, "Oh, we bashing diamonds? Yeah, they cut corners to make it smaller. LOL, get it? Cut corners." Yeah, now we're talking. 8-bit FPV says, "Is that board 5 amps CiottiFPV on that Mobula6? On this one, probably. This is like the Super Whoop or something or other board. It's almost certainly 5 amp. The only tiny whoop board that I know of that's not 5 amp is the X12, which is 12 amp. Unfortunately, it's oversized, so you can only use it on a toothpick or in the Mobula7 ELRS V4 frame. Flush FPV says, "Have you seen the new hype train BBs from Bubby?" Somebody had just mentioned them, and it looks like Nuno 512 says they're 0802s in 29,700 kV. That's pretty cool. Let's see if we can find them real quick. Hype train 0802. Let's see if that'll come up. Hey. Wow, 5 different colors. Really? In all the same KV? That's pretty slick. They look heavy though. Oh, is that a 1.5 millimeter shaft? Oh, come on now. Yeah. No, it's not. I don't think so. Hold on, let's see. Nah, it's a 1 millimeter shaft. That's a shame. Weight is 2 grams. Oh, it's an 0802. It's an 0802. Okay, that's why it looks so heavy. That's why it looks big, because it's an 802. Very cool. Very, very, very cool. It looks like it's bare wire. Maybe not, though. Hold on. No, there's a connector there. Very cool. I wonder who's making these. That almost looks like an RCInPower hub design. Although I guess that's a hype train hub design. But I know a lot of the hype train motors are now made by RCInPower, so maybe it is. Very cool. Very, very, very cool. And the fact that we can get them in 5 different colors, that is like very rare. That's awesome. And there's 4 packs, but the link doesn't work. What is this, individually? Okay. All right, fair enough. Damn. I don't really have anything that I have 0802s on anymore, though. So I don't know if I'll get any of these, but man, that's awesome. That is fantastic. 29,700 kV. More high RPM options. I love that. It looks like it's a 3-bolt mounting pattern, right? Yeah, 3-bolt mounting pattern. Fairly standard stuff. These would be great on a heavier weight tiny whoop. Like this. Although tonight we're going to try to get the weight down on this. But yeah, man, that is freaking fantastic that we've got another motor option. The weight of the motor being 2 grams, I wish they said 2 point something grams, because 2 grams could mean 2.9 grams. What do the EX 0802s weigh? Let's take a quick look. I actually don't really... I don't know offhand. Well, we're going to be desoldering them. After we desolder them, we'll weigh them. 2 grams seems a little bit light to me. But like I said, without a decimal point, depending on how they've rounded it off, it could be 2.9 grams. It also doesn't say, it just says weight 2 grams. It doesn't say with wires. It doesn't say without wires. So yeah, realistically, this weight 2 grams doesn't really mean anything. Somebody actually needs to weigh them for us to really know. Frank Nicholas also calling out the motors. Thank you, brother. Mizarki says, I'm going to have to find some of the HGLRC wires from somewhere. Yeah, I've had these HGLRC race LEDs for a while. I don't know where I got them. But if you really can't find them, let me know and I'll try to dig it up from somewhere. Mr. Huggy says, for the 4mm LED wires, I solder 2 on the back and 1 on the front to make it easier. That's a really good idea, Mr. Huggy. That's a really, really, really good idea. Do the HGLRCs have the double-sided pads? They do not. So that's actually an advantage of the Flywoos, is that they have pads on both sides. These HGLRCs only have the pads on the top. But like I said, they're a little bit the pads are a little bit wider. So you should be okay soldering all 3 to one side. I actually don't love having the pads on both sides of the Flywoo. What Mr. Huggy is doing is kind of brilliant. So I like it for that reason. But what I'm always afraid of with the pads on the bottom is that they're going to touch against the carbon fiber arm, and the carbon fiber top layer is conductive. So that could make kabungo, bango, bongo. Although, I guess if you just solder 1 on the bottom and 2 on top, if that 1 hits the carbon, I bet you'll be okay, as long as you don't have a ground somewhere else on the frame, which most builds don't, on the electronics, I should say. So yeah, that might actually be totally fine, but I'm always worried about that. Like I run the Flywoo 9x15 ones, and there's always those pads on the bottom, which I don't use. But I always make sure I put an extra long piece of VHB all the way across the bottom to cover up those pads, so that those pads never come down and hit the carbon, because I assume that would not be a happy day. YouTube just did the thing again, scrolling back up. PJ says, oh, what Star Wars are they watching? It's my favorite movie show, Serious Fantasy Universe. Which one is this? What is this, 8? Hold on, let me just watch it for a second. Yeah, this is 8. They just destroyed the crazy red guys, the red ninja guys, while the red banner thing burns. Cole Powers says, sorry, I'm 3 minutes behind, calling out the Bubby Motors. Burns White Bean says, check this out. We're going to copy link address. Let's see. Product guide. JST Crimps. Ooh, look at this. Oh, very cool. This has all the different names called out. Good find. Man, Google's a beautiful thing. JST.mfg.com. Look at that. JST-mfg.com. Very cool. Man, they've got a lot of different connectors. Good Lord. Look at all these. Holy cow. Oh my God, there's 19 pages. And 9 on each page. Jesus. JFA, LV, BH, VAJ, VL. Wow. That's wild. I think ours are on the first page though, right? No, I guess not. Second page? There's the SH. I don't know. That's cool though. Good find, brother. Wow, 14 bucks a motor. That's a lot, isn't it? 14 bucks a motor. Hold on. Let me see something here real quick. Hey, here's the new WeBleedFPV website. 38.99, 40 bucks, 10-ish, 9.50 per motor. Yeah, Jesus. That's a lot. 14 a motor. But I mean, with these little motors, you don't really break them all that often, and it is kind of nice that they sell them individually, so you can just buy 5, right? So that's kind of cool. I'm cool with that. And they do look like nice motors. They look like they're properly made. Yeah, look at chat coming in and calling out the names of the connectors. Thank you, fellas. Mr. Huggy says, I put them in clear heat shrink, then use that clear heat shrink around the arms to hold them down. Nice. Very cool. And all right, let's get to work because wait, no, hold on. Hold on. Here's some flight footage from these 1404s on the lightweight Rip Squeak. How lightweight is the lightweight Rip Squeak, Ciotti? I'll tell you right now. And here you guys go. So this is RunCam hybrid footage, and this is me trying to not go completely nutso because I wasn't totally sure that these motors wouldn't catch on fire again, but I pretty quickly I told myself, just keep it in the yard, just keep it in the yard, so if another motor cooks, it's not up in the trees and gone forever. That's me hitting a branch, by the way, but keeping it in the yard lasted about 18 seconds. I keep looking at this branch to cut it down on this tree. It's really just in the exact wrong spot, but I don't think I can cut it down. I think I would have to cut like a big chunk of branch down to clear that part of the yard, so I'll probably leave it. But yeah. Yo, I hit this tree so many times. Like, which I didn't mind because I want to put a little bit of slams. I want to put some slams into these motors to see how they do. This is also on the HQ 3x2.5x3 props, which are now magically, like, balanced fine. I think they fixed their mold or something. And this was also kind of fun to beat up on those motors to see how they are. This is on a BLHeli S ESC now, and I can't tell a difference versus the previous ESC, which was BLHeli 32. Is there a difference? Sure. But micros are not, like, they don't have the most amazing flight dynamics, so it's harder to tell the difference between stuff like that. So, yeah, BLHeli S is still totally, is completely fine for 3-inch rigs. This thing flies great. Yeah, just kind of keeping it around home, just blasting the throttle a bunch of times. Put some stress into these 1404s to see if they're okay. And they did totally fine. And this rig flies great. Like, I'm really happy with how this rig flies on 1404s. I typically fly pretty late in the day, which opens the shutter speed up quite a bit. And there's no jello, so I mean that's a good thing. I do want to get these out in the middle of the day in bright sunlight to see if there's any, see if we got any jello going on. I mean, how can I not? How can I not show off my artwork, right? Forgot to weigh this rig. I've been talking. So this guy is 136 dry, and I typically run like a 4S 850 on it. With a 4S 850, it's 236 grams, 237 grams. I think this particular battery was actually a 4S 700, so it was coming in another like 15 grams lighter than that. But yeah, these 1404s have just enough power for this rig at this weight, which is 15-ish grams off of sub 250. This is me clearing off the path, just blowing some leaves away. And man, was that a great example of the auto exposure algorithm getting really confused on the RunCam hybrid. This is very common with less expensive HD cameras. They're exposing for the sky when it really shouldn't be. But now, as I turn to the right a little bit and fill more of the frame with darker objects, it fixes itself. So it's just, yeah, the cheaper cameras, you got to really avoid pointing them directly into the sun like I'm doing there, because they just don't have a great auto exposure algorithm in them to say, like, hey, when there's something super, super, super bright in the frame, don't try to expose for it, because everything else in the frame is going to go black. So yeah, you can kind of fly around it in a way. Because look, all this looks great. You know, this still looks great. Now it's going to start to struggle again because I'm pointing it directly at the sun, but it's still not too bad. It's not going completely off the rails and it was starting to get really pissed there, but yeah, you can kind of fly around it. Doing some more blowing, getting those leaves off that path. It's important to mix fun with work, friends. Always mix fun with work. There you go. So yeah, there's some flying from today. The RunCam hybrid really is magic, in my opinion. I'm so happy with the 4K that it spits out. It's very, I think it's the same sensor that's in the RunCam Thumb Pro. And yeah, other than that one issue where you point it directly at the sun and it gets kind of confused, it's just really good, and to be able to have it like completely enclosed inside the rig where it's all protected and nice, it's just rad. And then the FPV camera is brilliant on the RunCam hybrid. Admittedly, it's a little expensive. $100 is a lot of money, but it's $100 for a $30 to $40 FPV cam and a really decent HD cam, and that's actually a really, really, really good deal. Garter Rotor says pajama pants life. Yeah, man, I fucking live in pajama pants. So yeah, two of the propellers got very banged up during that battery, and I bent them back straight and kept on going, and it was good to go. As you saw, there wasn't all of a sudden a bunch of jello. So yeah, and I'm pretty happy with these FlyFishRC motors. I gotta be honest, as long as I can put a bunch more batteries through this and I don't have another one of them blow up, then I think it was kind of a fluke from that other 1404 that did not make it. So yeah, another good motor option. Admittedly, a safer bet is probably the T-motor or the Axis Flying 1404. They're going to be more expensive than these, and they're not going to be the cool purple, but they're much more established companies, right? They're also less notchy, which I will admit I do kind of like. This is the Axis 1404 here, and yeah, you can definitely feel that it's not a lot, actually. It's not a huge difference, but it is a little bit less notchy. What I will say is the magnet retention setup on these fly fishes is better than the Axis. The Axis does not have a physical ring to keep the magnets from flying out of the motor if you crash really, really, really hard. That's a pretty rare thing to happen, but that's a big thumbs up for Flyfish. And it's also, I just noticed it's a one-piece bell, whereas the Axis 1404 is a two-piece bell. So yeah, both really good motors. Do those things actually matter? Maybe not. for the most part, in most cases, you can buy the thing that you like the color of the best, and you'll pretty much be okay. So there's a lot to be said for that. And no, I'm not kidding. Like, a lot of these components are made in the same places, with slightly different specs, and you can literally buy the things that you like the look of the most. And with how kind of shitty quality control is, it's like, yep, you're rolling the dice every time you use something anyway. So Juju says, what do you think about the newbie drone Hummingbird F4 Pro 1S brushless bind and fly with Mark III camera as a first 65mm drone? I can't really speak to that because it just hasn't been out long enough for anyone to really have tested it that I've seen. Hold on. Let me see what the motors are that it comes with. What I was about to say is, like, it's really hard to recommend anything other than the Mobula6 ELRS. But if they put some decent KV motors on here, then maybe. So you can get this with ELRS. This is not the right one, is it? New arrivals. Let's check in here. It's probably in here. Or not. I saw that it was announced, why is it not on their website? Is it here? Here we go. What are the motors? So, in theory, here's my full answer. In theory, this will be a better quality AIO. And that's a big deal. Unfortunately, this probably uses motors with the newbie drone specific plugs on them, which kind of sucks. Yeah, so this is newbie drone specific plug, so that's annoying. It also does have solder pads, so you can direct solder motors up to it, but not as a new person. Like, as somebody new, direct soldering tiny whoop motors is going to be an absolute nightmare. So this is going to be a great rig for a beginner if the beginner never wants to upgrade to more powerful motors. And that's kind of annoying. So yeah, I would still recommend the Mobula6 Express LRS. And it looks like they've only got 0802 18,000 kV motors on here. Newbie drone is really like, they really cater to brand new pilots. And I love that, and I get that. Yeah, 18,000 kV motors. And I love that, and I get that. But the problem that I have with that is that sometimes, by doing so, they make a product that is not really upgradable. And that becomes kind of annoying, because then you just have like this rig that's kind of locked in. Technically speaking, this is upgradable because it's got the direct solder pads, but goddamn, it just sucks so bad to have to direct solder tiny whoop motors. It's just so small and stupid, and so I have a hard time. Like like I said, this is probably, from like a quality control standpoint, much better than the Mobula6 ELRS board. Maybe not, though. Newbie Drone Electronics have had a rough time over the past couple of years, so it's tough. It's really tough to say. I think I would still guide you towards the Mobula6. And then you just go into beta flight, you go into PID tuning, and you put the motor limiting down to like 60%, and that's going to give you this same amount of power that this rig has, and then you can creep that number up and give yourself more and more power as you get better and as you get more used to it. This is probably great, and if you can learn to solder tiny whoop motors up, you'll be able to solder anything up, and it's totally doable. So yeah, it's not like a mistake to buy this per se, but and that's a lot of like what ifs. Oh, does it not have a VT? Hold on. Does it not have a VTX on the flight controller on the AIO? I bet you it doesn't, because it's cut down a little bit here. It appears to be using a camera. This is the camera board, and then it looks an awful lot like this is a VTX board. I'm almost sure of that because look, we've got yellow, white, blue, and green cables coming from here. What that probably means is, and there's probably also a red and a black cable somewhere in there. The yellow is video, the white is probably smart audio, and then the blue is something as well. So it's it probably doesn't have a VTX on the AIO, and I personally don't like that. I prefer the AIO to have both Express LRS and the VTX on it, and then you just have your camera up top, and it's just super clean, super lightweight. Juju confirms no, it doesn't have a VTX built in. Yeah, I don't love that. There are advantages to this setup, to be honest. There are advantages to having the VTX up here on the camera, but I don't think the advantages outweigh the negatives to it. So it's not a bad choice. I just don't think it's as good of a choice as the Mobula6 ELRS. But that's totally my opinion. That's the opinion of someone who wants to be able to upgrade this thing to the point where it can shoot fireballs out of its anus. So for a lot of people, you don't need something that's as crazy as what I'm typically looking to build. So bear that in mind. For most people, that's probably an amazing first rig. But I'm not going to recommend it. I think that the Mobula6 kind of has it locked down, and the regular full size not diamond Mobula6 AIO has been hysterically durable for me. So yeah, I mean, a lot of times happy model stuff is not durable at all, but man, they're doing a hell of a job with these Mob6s. All right, cool. We're caught up. Let's start. Speaking of direct soldering tiny whoop motors, let's direct solder some tiny whoop motors on the Mobula6 ELRS. Hands down, my least favorite thing to do. But I'm very curious if this thing is going to be significantly better. Well, actually, so let's do this first, because these batteries are done charging. Let's fly a battery on this with it set up as it is right now, and then we'll fly. And then if I can get the motors done, we'll fly another one with the 0702s, and we can kind of compare. I mean, I know what the difference is going to be. I don't know how much more runtime it's going to have, but I know exactly what the difference is going to be. We could technically just go back to the last stream where I was flying this thing around and take a look at the runtimes. But, hey, we have the technology. Let's do it. And, you know, any excuse to fly, right? Any excuse to procrastinate having to direct solder these asininely small motors is more like it. That's more the current situation. All right, so let me get this crazy Elgato HD60S Plus to goggle nonsense going. So this is output. Output is going to go up to the fat sharks. Okay. And then input is going to go in the back here to the module. Look at that. I remembered to unplug the other VRX last time we flew. Happy days are here at last. All right, so there's the ridiculous setup that I'm going to have on my big dumb face. Let's get this going here. What, Duke?
Yeah.
What's he doing?
Going insane. That's where I tried to like pick out a knot he had in his hair.
He's a bad boy, that Duke. He's not. He's a good boy. All right, hold on. I gotta get things set here. While I'm doing this, let's go to the VRX scene, and we want to turn on HDZero. Wow, that came right up. That's really nice. Crossfire out. Express LRS in. Welcome to OpenTX. And let me put this big, silly goggle contraption on my big dumb head. There we go. All right, so the main thing we want to look at here is runtime, because the flight characteristics are going to be drastically different. All right, here we go. Oh, Duke is going to hate this. Duke, look, it's fine. So I'm not going to... Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm not going to go ballistic. Because when I go ballistic, I crash so often that the runtime kind of goes out the window. So let's just chill. We're going to go upstairs, do a couple blasts up here, just to kind of mix it up a little bit. We'll do a little Papasan orbit. Come through the kitchen here. Whoops. Do a big dive down there. HDZero's hanging in. Now we'll come right back downstairs. So we spent like 30 seconds upstairs. We did 2 big blasts. Oh, farts. See the amount of elevation it drops like in the middle of that little bit of hang time there? That's what I don't like about how heavy this thing is. Ooh, wow, I got lucky on that one. Let's try to get one Matty flip in, though, at least. Let's see. We got it. We got it. We making it happen. We making all the things happen. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting used to it. I wanted to go backwards through those. Let's try it again. Ah, no, I hit the top of it. Oh, there we go. Well... It's, man, I gotta be honest, the power, ooh, fuck. Ooh, jeez. The power of these EX0802 30,000s is really great. It really, really is. And I really hope that, whoa! I really hope that with the 0702s, we don't lose that. We don't lose this good power to weight ratio, because my god, do I not want to do this again. Yeah. But I don't know if I will. Oh, man, I'm getting used to where I'm getting better at placing these gates in spots that make sense. When am I going to get a low battery warning? This runtime, there it is. This runtime is not decent. So as soon as I get the low battery warning, I'm going to come home. So where are we at? 248, that's not bad. I was really trying to keep it off of full throttle. So there you go. There's your runtime for the... well, that's really not bad. That's not how I normally fly, though. That's me, like, pretty backed off. But I'll try to do the same thing once we move over to the 0702s. And the big thing that I'm looking for is better, just better flight characteristics, just less weight. But man, that's the best I've ever flown this guy, for sure, like without shadow of a doubt. So, kind of shocked that kind of felt fine. I don't know, maybe it's because I was flying heavier rigs today. When I fly this thing back to back with the Analogue tiny whoops, I'm usually a lot more of a mess. So yeah, I don't know. June Logo says it's gonna work way better. I'm cautiously optimistic, but there's a really good chance that it's too heavy for the 0702s. And yeah, I don't know, because the 0702s kind of seem like they're at their upper limit on the Analogue rigs. But let's find out, man. Only one way to know, and that's to test it. Let's see how quick I can do this. I don't know. This is a good amount of work. It's already 7:30. Nobody streams after me, so I mean I can go a little bit long here, but we'll see. So the deal is, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to desolder the motor wires from the motors themselves and just switch the cans over from one to the other. And I'm kind of thinking about doing it the lazy way and just leaving the shrimp wrap off, but I don't really know if that's going to save any significant amount of time. At some point here, I'm going to do another tinywhoop.com order, and I'm going to get some of those Rennie reinforced nylon screws, and that'll save another like 0.3, 0.4 of a gram from this rig, so that'll be kind of cool. Trying to get some of that flight performance and runtime back. Man, that runtime was not bad at all, though. But I mean, I'm sure you guys noticed that I was taking it easy on that battery. But maybe, I mean, like maybe that's just the way that the HDZero rig needs to be flown, right? Like I did throw it around a little bit. I don't always have to fly everything like my actual pants are on fire all the time. Like it might be. It might weirdly be nice to have a rig that it's like, okay, chill flying rig now, you know? Maybe that's, but let's find out. The 0702s have really knocked my socks off with their performance so far, and maybe they will continue to do so in this thing. I wonder if I can. I was going to pull the whole squid out of the frame just to kind of make my life a little bit easier. But I wonder if I can leave it. And I wonder if there'll be enough distance on these motors from the frame to get this job done. You know what I realized? I can't put this thing into the fractal frame because this camera will not mount in that fractal TPU piece. So yeah, this HDZero build needs to stay in this frame, in this camera mount. It's a 14mm nano camera, so it needs to stay with a canopy that has the actual screw mounts. That's kind of a bummer. I was kind of thinking that I could reframe this thing. And I mean, I could probably finagle something, but the way that this camera lens is set up, it's not going to love being in TPU. It doesn't have any like knobbly bits on the front to keep it from falling out of TPU. So it's just, this camera is not a good candidate for mounting in TPU, basically, I guess is what I'm saying. I'm going to pull the squid out of it, because I foresee much frustration in trying to get these motors soldered up properly with this frame being in the way. And typically when that's the case, it'll end up taking you longer than if you just did the thing that you didn't want to do because you thought it would save time in the first place. what I'm saying? I'm sure every single one of you has been there. All right. That was a happening little battery, though, man. I could do a little flight edit to that battery. No crashes, cruised around nice. Upstairs is a little dark. But, I mean, you got to see the performance of this antenna. That was kind of cool. And this VTX. I watched Joshua's review of the Waka Flocka Flame Snail 1S VTX. Good lord. Now that is some incredible performance. Not really it just too heavy for tiny whoops though. This HDZero setup will continue to be the only realistic VTX and camera setup for tiny whoops. But for toothpicks, good God. Yeah, like, it's great that I just got done with this Vista Pick and all, but a walk snail toothpick is going to be a much better idea, much lighter, single stack instead of double stack. So, yeah, if you're going to build a a digital toothpick, it should be with the walk snail system. Realistically, if you've got the money, I mean that's a hell of a way to justify a $350-$400 set of goggles. So I don't really know if it's worth that. But if you're going to go that direction with the rest of your stuff, or you already have, then I think it's a really easy decision. And or if you were thinking about going that direction, it certainly makes that choice a lot clearer. Because yeah, man, that video performance was out of this world. I love that he did a little comparison to this actual rig here as well. You really see the difference. I mean, just night and day. It's like looking at analog versus digital. My God, what a difference between those two guys. Okay, so here we go. We're not going to worry about like trying to keep these motors in order. That's a fool's errand. We're just going to get these off and then put them on wherever we can get them on, basically. So yeah, let's get a little weight on this guy without the wires on it. I think I might have a... Well, I'm about to need to remove a set of wires, so we'll kill two birds here. So just the motor, just the EX0802 motor itself, no wires at all, is 1.6 grams. And then with these wires here, no idea what the length is. Wait till you see how heavy these wires are. If you've never weighed motor wires, you're in for a shock. With the wires, what? Well, that's pretty light. I thought they'd be heavier than that. 1.8 grams. So maybe those little Bobito motors, maybe it is 2.0 grams. Maybe. Because these EX0802s are 1.8. So there you go. Let's weigh the EX0802 without wires versus the 0702 with wires. EX0802 is coming in at 1.6 grams, no wires. 0702 is 1.3 grams, no wires. And then you got to multiply that by 4, of course. Very cool. I've never gotten these motor weights without wires, and the wires they do add a significant amount of weight, so it's kind of nice to have done that. All right, let's keep going here. Now the fun part. Removing them is always so simple, but then adding them back in, man, ugh, kill me. Here we go. Come on. always make sure when soldering that bringing the tip of the soldering iron in is the last thing that you do. You need to make sure that the wire is exactly where it needs to be, and then the tip of the soldering iron is just bringing heat in. It's not bringing in, it's not pulling in the tip of the wire, it's not holding the tip of the wire down, it's just adding heat. So you got to make sure that you've got the wire exactly where you want it and you're able to hold it with your left hand, your offhand, let's say. And then the soldering iron tip comes in to add the heat, and then that's it. And then you need to hold the wire with your offhand nice and still. It's actually a really big deal. And there you go. That's how you get a good solder joint. As well as using flux. Flux is the magical cheat code to getting a good solder joint. If you're not using flux, you're just making your life miserable. With flux, soldering becomes a lot easier. You should have a flux pen that looks like this, available on Amazon. And then I really think you should also have a syringe like this with flux paste. This is really, really nice. This is TBS's, but there's absolutely no reason to get it. I only have it from them because it came in an FPV crate. On Amazon, there are tons and tons and tons of syringes with flux paste in them. Probably better quality stuff than what TBS is using. So yeah, those two things are absolutely essential. There's all kinds of other tools down below in the description in the little tool section that'll make your life a little easier, more than likely. And then just patience. Soldering is all about having patience and just following your following like the basics. Don't try to rush it. Just make sure you flux absolutely everything. A half decent quality soldering iron does help. You don't have to spend a ton of money, but $10 is not enough. You can't get a decent soldering iron for $10. You got to spend at least like $50. There's one by Secure, Sequre, that most FPV stores sell. That's $50. That's pretty awesome. There's also the TS100 for $80, $90, which is brilliant as well. Personally, I have a Weller 1010, which is just absolutely awesome. There's also a Hacko that's a lot less money than this. I do prefer the actual soldering station. Some people will use the TS100 for everything. I don't find the TS100 to be all that comfortable. I really like having a wired setup like this, and then this is nice and lightweight and round, and it's easy to hold. It's easy to hold nice and flat. But that's a pretty personal kind of thing there, so no right or wrong answers. This is actually not going terrible. I still think we're going to have to go a little bit over, but that's okay. Who's building? What are you guys building? Come on, get off of there. Come on, shrimp wrap. Be cool. Be cool. There you go. All right, almost. Man, Maggie and Sage have been at the hospital for a long time. They are not going to be thrilled when they get back. All right. Here we go. Let's remove these. When you're removing, you can just kind of lay the tip of the soldering iron down flat against all three pads, and you can just kind of yank them off like that. It doesn't save you much time, and there is a chance that you'll bridge the pads. If you've fluxed the pads properly, though, you probably won't bridge them, so you can do that. I usually don't because it's really not much of a time savings. But, you know, you do you. You do you, my friends. No wrong answers. A pair of really finely tipped tweezers are another absolute necessity, especially doing this small work. Really, really, really important. Don't try to do this small work with your fingers. It's just going to drive you insane. A little pair of tweezers like this is just everything. You don't need to get like ESD or any of the ceramic ones. Just a regular old little set. The only other real essential I would say is like a little 5X loop, just so that you can check your work. This is really, really important, especially on this small stuff. That first solder joint that I did the wire might be a little bit offside the pad, and the only way to see this, even if you have good vision, is with a little magnifier. So the first one's fine. The third one that I did is actually the jacked up one, so I need to rework that real quick. And you really need to check your work on this small stuff, always, always, always. Because yeah, I thought that third one was totally fine, and it's like absolutely not even remotely fine. But now it is. So yeah, absolutely make sure you check your work when you're doing the small stuff like this. Alright. Even though you're just flying it around inside, and it kind of doesn't matter if it lets go, right? Like it's just, there's just no reason. There's no reason to have to redo it a second time. It'll save you a lot of time to just give it a quick look and check it. And, you know, chances are that when it lets go, it'll be the one time that you're flying up on your roof, and then it'll slide down into the gutter, and when it's in the gutter, it's really hard to get out, and then you've spent 10 times as much time fucking around trying to get it down because of the 4 seconds that you saved not checking your work. So, check your work. Alright, 2 down, 2 to go. Not bad at all. Also try to batch stuff out. So like, I guess I could sort of batch this out by removing both of these at the same time. So let's try that. So we could take this guy and this guy, put them both here, and then flux them both, and do the little triple trick again. See, so sometimes the triple trick won't work because you won't get the soldering iron perfectly flat. So then we can just kind of rotate this guy over. Get that guy. Alright. And then just bring this fella out of here. Leave this little fella in here. And this might be how I do motor swaps from now on these direct solder AIOs. This is much better than having to solder direct to the AIO. Much less painful. And let's take a quick look. Alright. I typically don't batch stuff out because I find that when I batch stuff out, I become more focused on speed than quality. And I would just, with this stuff, much rather have the focus be on getting the job done absolutely as perfect as possible. Everybody's different, though. I hate having to do reworks, and I hate having shit fall out of the sky. So that's kind of where the emphasis, my personal emphasis on getting shit done as close to perfect as possible on the first hit comes from. But everybody's different. You know, if you don't fly unrecoverable spots, that's a lot less of an issue for you. I have a tendency to fly spots, and in a way that, like, if the shit falls out of the air, it's either never coming home or it's at least going to be a nightmare to get home. So just going to keep that in mind. You do you. No real wrong answers. This shit here is Massadhesives.com soldering goop. Now, what's it called? Thermally resistive putty. And it's really nice. It's basically just blue thumbtack, blue sticky tack grip thumb. Oh, fuck me. Blue tack. It's basically just blue tack, but specifically formulated to not get all melty and gloopy and horrible like blue tack does. And it's black, and black is cooler than blue, you know? Got a little hair wrapped around this one. Let me get rid of that. I don't... The only hairs that you got to worry about on these brushless whoop motors are hairs that get wrapped around the stator base like this. Hairs that get wrapped around the top don't really matter, but any hairs around the stator base like this, you do want to try to get out of there. It could fuck things up. Probably won't, but it could. Man, that's another huge bonus to the brushless tiny whoop motors over the brushed ones, is the hair situation, man. The brushed tiny whoop motors really struggle when they get hair in them, whereas these guys don't. It's a huge step up for us that nobody really... I've never really heard anybody talk about that. But man, did I notice that when I first started flying brushless whoops. I was like, Jesus, I never have to stop flying these things. Where I felt like with the brushed ones, it was like every couple of batteries you had to pull a clump of hair out of them or the damn motors would barely spin anymore. It's because of the way the motor shaft kind of interacts with the can of the motor. Charles Marseille is building a 14-inch Ardu tricopter. Good lord. Windstall memorabilia. Michael D is not building, but swapping around, testing motors, old Tiny Hawk 2 to try and get it flying again. Also just installed Ciotti Purple Tweed FPV grip tape on my Zorro. Very cool. I heard it'll make you a 20% better pilot. Confirmed. And then William Loesch says, finally going to get a Mobula6 ELRS. What mod should I do to it out of the box? Head on over to Joshua's website. I have all of my suggested mods all listed out there. The long and short of it, though, is BT 2.0 and a Meteor 65 frame. Those are the big ones. All right, let's try to do the little triple jib jab here. Got it. And let's go for it one more time over here on the 0702. Hey, good to go. All right, the 0802 EX 30,000 kV motors are free from their previous job. They'll move on to something else. Maybe they'll end up right back on here. You never know. And here we go. One, two, three. I think I need to rework that first one. There we go. That looks pretty good, but let's definitely check it because it's tiny. And see how it looks. Oh yeah, we good. Third one's a little close to the middle one, but it's totally fine. And there we have it. 0702 30,000 kV motors on the Mobula6 HDZero. Let's throw it back together and we'll see how it is. I'll try to do roughly the same battery. I think I did 2 big throttle blasts upstairs and maybe 3 throttle blasts down here. And then the rest was just cruising. We did crash it a little bit. Crashes are pretty hard on the battery because they ramped the PID loop up to full banana pants. But should be okay. All right, so it goes in the frame like that. Let's get these grommets in here. 1, 2. Looks like that one stayed in. That was nice of it. And 3. Okay, so take this guy and we're going to put it into here. Want that facing backwards. And the motors are going to go through like that. And these 2 motors need to go down through there. Come on, look, guys. Be cool. Everybody be cool. There we go. This Mobula6 frame is holding up really well. I'm surprised. Oops, I put the one grommet on upside down. Yeah, usually these I've had no luck with these Happy Model Whoop frames, but this one's been really good. And typically they're the lightest of the Whoop frames, so I'm thrilled by that. Because lightweight is what we need on this. Alright, now the finicky part, trying to get these guys on here without the grommets falling off. Come on, you little jerk. This is made extra fiddly by the HDZero board and all the extra wires and whatnot. Come on, damn you. Ah! Okay. Let's try this again. Let's just try to get these 2 on, and then we'll try to get the other 2. You God damn it! Come on, jerk. Get, go. You're almost, oh no, it's not even close. Come on, get in there. Go. Go. Yeah. Okay. Let's make sure nothing's hung up weird. That looks good. That looks good. This looks okay. All right, let's get it pushed the rest of the way down. All right. Looking good. This guy comes down in the front like that. And let's see if we can get these guys in here. I can't imagine working at the factory and having to make 100 of these a day. Oh my god. I would absolutely lose my shit. There are definitely nets on the outside of the Happy Model building. Definitely. Nets confirmed. Alright. Screw number 2. And we're just going to leave it like that. We'll get the motors knocked out here next. Not that it really matters. It all has to get done regardless, but... Alright, how did I have these motors set? Like that? Yeah. There we go. Okay. So... Can we get one hole lined up? Yes, we can. Oh my god, I hate these little motor screws. Oh, I hate these little motor screws so much. Come on. Thread in there. Yeah, there we go. Okay. There we go. Let go. Let go. Probably just put this together with 2 screws, but I don't know. I don't want it to explode. And actually, that would lighten it up. So we don't want to do that. We want a nice fair comparison. All right. Next one. One of the struggles is just getting the wires to line up properly so that the motor mount base will be rotated correctly. There we are. That wasn't too painful. And it caught the threads real quick. That was nice. If you don't have a little tiny screwdriver that's magnetized, how haven't you killed yourself yet? Sometimes it's annoying, but more often than not, it's amazing. All right, I shouldn't tighten this one down as much as I did. There we go. This one's having a hard time. Nope, there it is. All right. Come on. Get in there. Get in there. Paul McDonald says, what props was it you like to run on the Cinesplorer when you don't have the ducts on it? Well, you can. It'll clear 3.5-inch propellers. The Emax Avan 3.5-inch props are pretty brilliant. The Gemfan 3.5s are great too. The Gemfans are quite a bit less pitchy, so kind of depends. Can't go wrong with either one though. They're both incredible props. If you were going to do a 3-inch prop, the Gemfan 3052 would probably be your best bet. On a Cinesplorer, you're going to have a big old motor, so the Gemfan 3052 is real pitchy, so it's going to take advantage of that big old motor. And yeah, and I don't find that the pitchy micro props have the same problems that the pitchy 5-inch props have, where it's hard to control them, like low to the ground and stuff. So yeah, I'm a fan of pitchy 3-inch props. Unfortunately, there aren't many, but the Gemfan 3052s are pretty awesome. The other option is, and it does kind of depend on what motors you're running, T-mount versus M5. If you're running M5 mount motors, you're still going to be able to run the Gemfan 3.5s. You're not going to be able to run the Emax Avan 3.5s. And then for a 3-inch prop, the Gemfan 3052, you'll be able to run that. That's a dual hub. But you can also run the T-Motor 3140s, and those are another amazing propeller. So yeah, a bunch of different options for it. Paul McDonald with a $5 super chat. He says, thanks, man. I got a big motor, the FPV Cycle Ciotti style motors. Which ones? The X Nova 1804s? I'm wanting to build I'm going to go down the rabbit hole. So these, now that I've got these 1404s on here that are kind of notchy, I want to revisit notchy motors. And so the FPV Cycle 1606 motors are on my radar. So I'm wanting to do a build with those. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but it's going to be some sort of a basher, because they have 3 millimeter rather motor shafts, so they should be infinitely strong. And at 1606, they're going to make ass loads of power. What I would really like to build is a micro apex with the 4-inch arms, because those motors will have plenty of power for 4-inch props. And then there are some really durable 4-inch props, like the HQ. There's an HQ 4-inch V1S prop that's super durable. that's an expensive build, though. That's a really expensive frame. And then it's like, what is this thing? This ends up being like a 350 gram big old brick that, like, what's it really for? Technically speaking, it could probably move around a DJI Action 2, but I don't have that camera, and I'll be goddamned if I'm going to spend... I just don't have the money to buy another camera like that, especially with how shitty I think that the field of view looks on it. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that rig would be. It could just be a big, burly, like, DJI carrier, or maybe even a Runcam hybrid carrier. But again, it's way too big and heavy for that. Like, it only really makes sense to build that rig to pick up a camera that is 40 grams, 50 grams, 60 grams, and there really is no such thing that I'm interested in. So yeah, I don't know. Try not to build rigs just for the sake of building them. I try to have like a purpose behind the rig, and the only purpose behind that build would be to like try out the Apex frame, which I guess that has purpose for me as a content creator and all, but I don't know. I got a bunch of other builds that are waiting to get done, so they'll probably come first. But yeah, I do want to check out those 1606s. But I also do kind of think that it's too much motor. It's a lot, man. 1606, that's a huge amount of stator volume. It's probably too much stator volume. So, all right. Screws seem to be just about right. I'm going to loosen this front one a little bit. The grommet's kind of getting a little too poofy. I'm actually going to tighten this rear one a little bit. And I'm going to loosen this one a little bit. Throw some props on here and see how it is. Let me manage these motor wires a little bit so they don't hit the props. And I don't think I moved this. Did I change this to props in? Do you guys remember? No, it was one of the Analogue rigs that I changed to props in. So we're just going to put these props right back on here. And put it back up in the air. That was a lot less of a nightmare than I thought it was going to be. Man, these props fit very loose on these motors. I might need to put a fresh set of props on here. We'll see. If it starts throwing props, we'll swap them off. All right, so I need to hook it up to Betaflight because chances are one of these motors is not going to be spinning in the right direction. Riot9 with a 669 Australian super chat. He says, I hear that's not all that Paul has that's big. Oh, God. Gross. Thank you so much, Riot9, for the support, my brother. Ooh. Riot9 with a 428 super chat. Let's see what he says. Why can't I get this plugged in? Come on. There it is. There I got it. The thing hasn't come through yet. We need a battery. Let's use the battery that just came off of it. I want to make sure that the battery that I put onto it is fresh so that we get a good comparison on the run times. Do you guys remember what the run time was? Anybody willing to? It's a script messing up. Okay, cool. Thank you, Riot. Oh, it must have converted the glip glop to the bing bong. Individually, 1. Motor 1 is spinning in. We need to reverse it. Still spinning in. I need to put it to normal. Now it won't spin for some reason. What the hell? Oh, I think this battery might have just shit the bed. Motor 2 is correct. Motor 3 is spinning in. Need to reverse it. Nope, need to put it back to normal. There it is. Motor 4. Oh, yeah, this battery just shat the bed. And get this battery back on the charger so it's not completely assed out. Alright, I'm going to use one battery to get this fixed, and then another battery to do the thing in the place. Alright, one of the little covers on the... I need to deal with something before we fly this, but we'll be alright. Motor 4! Much better. Motor 4 is spinning out. Motor 1 is spinning out. Motor 2 is spinning out. Wait a second, no, motor 1 is still backwards. Now motor 1's correct. Motor 3 is correct. Motor 4 is correct. Okay, we're good. Close. Disconnect. Man, we are getting spammed hard tonight. Good lord. All right, no other changes. We're going to use another Tiny Whoop battery, which is the same one that we used last time. Not the same battery, just the same. I bought it, got it at the same time. It's run the same number of cycles. So this should be a super fair comparison. Let's make sure the props are on right. Out, 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 out. All right, cool. And oh wait, no, hold on. One of the little caps on. I guess it's on that one. Yeah, the extra little bit of winding material. Yeah, it fell off of this one. It looks like it's okay though. Yeah, I can get it back on there. Hold on. I'm gonna do this off camera. Just stand by a second. Just a silly little thing. I could probably leave it off, but I don't want to tempt fate any more than I already am. Alright. Almost. Get on there, you little jackass. Yeah, there it goes. And they put a little tiny piece of shrink wrap on the last little bit of winding material that kind of hangs off, and it just popped off. No big deal, but no reason to leave it janky. No reason to get janky now. There we go. All right, so that's all set. Cool. Let me put this ridiculous contraption on my head. Ryan9 with a $10 Australian super chat. He says, join the Discord for hot pics and love. Ignore the spammers. Thank you, brother. All right, VRX. And let's power up the Fat Sharks. Power up the transmitter here. And plug the battery on in.
Welcome to OpenTX.
Shork boy. Here we go. 0702, 30,000 kV. TinyWhoop.com motors. Why does it say crash flip switch? There it goes. See what the runtime is. And see how the performance is. Here we go. I haven't changed the tune. I haven't changed anything. Might need a little bit of extra PID gains, but let's see. So I'm just going to try to recreate that same flight that I had. I'm going to resist the urge to, like, hammer it any more than I did on the other one. Feels alright so far. Flying it like this, I mean, I don't know if I'll be able to tell a difference. Let's go upstairs. because I have to know what this is like at full throttle. Here we go. Plenty of power. Come on now. Oh, well, that ain't great. Didn't do that on the other motors. Oh, you know what? It threw a prop. It threw a prop. God damn it. Yeah, they felt really loose on there. Ah, shit. This completely fucks the testing up. Hold on. God damn it.
Telemetry lost.
Alright, I can't let it sit plugged in for the amount of time it's going to take me to change that prop. So somebody drop in chat what that runtime was, and then we just need to add that runtime to the to when I fly the rest of the battery here. I'm going to change all 4 of these props. God damn it. I'm not going to change all... I'm not going to change all 4 because a cleaner set of props could help it out a little bit. I need a high left. I'm just going to change the 1 and hopefully it doesn't throw anymore. None of them look like they're lifting on the shafts. That's what she said. Alright. So... Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it. Alright. Well, here we go. Plugging it back in. Please don't throw another one. And now I gotta go back upstairs. Barts. I already did the one big blast. We will, I think I did another big blast when I was upstairs on the other battery. Alright, here we go. Going directly back upstairs. Alright, so we did the one big blast. When I was up here before, I was kind of farting around. I did the orbit of the Papasan chair. I came over here. Man, it still feels heavy. And I did, oh, you son of a bitch, you. Just threw another one. Oh, no. Alright, well, this test has just been fucked in the ass.
Telemetry lost.
Damn it! It didn't throw the same one either, so I gotta change all 4 of them out. It's just gonna keep throwing them. Blarg. Testing sucks. Hold on. Taking the rest of these guys off. Stand by. I know it's dark in here. We got a high left, a high right. What else do I need? I need another high right. There's a high right for me. Nope, that's a high left. Here we go. High right. I might need to do the little super glue trick. You put a little bit of super glue on the inside of the mounting holes of the propellers and let it dry. And it gives the props a little bit of grab, a little bit of surface area. Not surface area, just surface roughness. If these props are going to keep ripping off like this. But we'll try it with a fresh set, and maybe it'll be okay here. Man, no, that one fits really loose, Jesus. Well, it's hard to pull off, so... God, yeah, these fit really loose. What the hell? Hold on. Both of these on the left side fit really poorly. I feel like they're going to come right off. Yeah, I mean, this is an easy fix, just not like right now at this very moment. What about you? Are you going to fit on there a little bit better? Let's see. There's absolutely nothing to see. I'm putting propellers on. That one fits a little bit better. And then we need a high right. High right, where are you? Here's a high right. Yeah, that one fits a little bit better too. All right, these should be better. Yeah, I mean, the test is pretty much screwed. Well, let me grab another. I mean, technically all these batteries are the same thing, but it's still not a great practice to swap from a tattoo to a tinywhoop.com. Also, this tattoo battery is kind of puffed up a little bit. So, yeah, whatever. The testing is out the window. We'll just focus on... The runtime testing is kind of out the window. We'll just focus on flight characteristics. And just basically, do they have enough power? To be really honest, I could give a shit about flight time. I know some people care about that, but if this has enough power, then I'm happy, because it's definitely quite a bit lighter. And so, yeah, it's a huge win if it has enough power. So here we go. I am going to try to recreate that flight, though, because this battery is probably just fine. I am staggered so far at how good these motors feel. To be totally honest, I can't really tell much of a difference. Which is kind of silly. Yeah, I mean, initial impressions are that it feels like way better in every way. And I don't think there's any real... It doesn't really feel like there's any less power. I mean, there has to be. But maybe not on the biblades. There's plenty of power, yo. There's plenty of power. Yo. This is it. I think these are the motors. Woo! 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 What was that? What was I stuck on? Stuck on something. Oh! A little bit of a shudder at full throttle. Might need a little bit less PID tuning. Oh, that was stupid. Let me try flying less like a donkey. Oh, God! That hit like a ton of bricks. What? Why can't I do anything? Oh, God. All right, well, I still suck. Oh, man. What is happening? I think this is just me being not in the zone at the moment. Oh, Jesus Christ. I will say this. When this thing crashes, it makes a hell of a lot louder of a bang than the other one. Than the other rigs that are like 4 grams lighter. Crashes okay though. Crashes often. Testing's out the window. Ah! It's still heavy. I mean, like, I think I'm immediately going into like, oh, just fly it like the analog rigs. And it ain't that. So there's a runtime. I mean, that's more runtime for sure. I didn't really fly it home. I didn't fly it back to the desk when the low battery warning came on. So there you go. It's got more runtime. It's got plenty of power. Let's do another battery though. I mean, it's still heavy, and it might be closer to the performance of the other ones, of the analog rigs, which makes me then just go like, oh, I can do all the same shit. Like, I feel like when I flew it on the 802s earlier, I was like, yeah, this is totally different, so let's fly it totally different. And now, I think I'm just trying to fly it much harder. So let's play a little bit more. Be interesting. I might watch the stream back after this and take a look at how I flew that first battery. Oh, jeez. Ah! Ah! It's a weird little... The tune needs some love, I think. Maybe the 0802s had enough extra jam to where the tune was... It's that second... I think it's always that second... oh, hell. Gate that's getting me. Stop it! No! No! It's tucked in the corner of the couch. Man, taking these goggles off and trying to figure out how to put them down on the desk with 18 wires hooked up to them is super annoying. All right. How you doing, little buddy? You just took some serious abuse. You good? Everybody cool? Ducts are all still gummy? Everybody's happy. Okay. More abuse. This flies good, man. Not as good, but it flies good. We talked about the Bobito 802s earlier in the stream. They look good. This is legit. See if I can get that. See if I can get a little bit more into the tune to fix that little shutter. Master multiplier is at 0.8. Let's go up to 1.0. See if it can handle it. Yeah. Easy, easy, easy. Whoa, shit. That was the ESC kind of getting upset. And a little arm drop action. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to reach that thing. Shit. I really try not to crash it where I just crashed it. To not scratch this purple wall up that Patrick did such a glorious job painting. But let's see. Oh god, come on, fucker. Man, I do not love that it just dropped an arm like that. That is not great. I have been asking a lot of the FETs on this AIO, but maybe it was just a fluke. Usually it isn't, but maybe. Alright, let's keep going. More raging. More rage. I'm gonna get that coffee table power loop down. Mark my words. Come on now. How did I hit that? Man, this HDZero VRX stinks. Smells like electrical fires. That was almost hot. Oh, come on now. Yeah, so I can tell the weight when it's like in the process of crashing and I have to try to kind of get it back. It's much harder to get it back with the extra weight. But I can pretty confidently say that this is much better than it was with the 802s, just from saving. We saved almost like I think we saved like 1.5 grams on the motors. I got one more battery. Put it right through it. Let's just keep going. I think that's this. This battery might be dead. Hold on. Oh shit! Come on now. The whole thing just fell off the desk. Where's this battery at? Voltage-wise. I think this is the one that's gonna be dead. Ah! This contraption just fell off the desk. There we go. Yeah, that battery's gonna be dead. Come on, give me some voltage. 3.9, yeah, that ain't the one. Alright, one more battery here. Is it good enough as a freestyle rig? Is my main question. Is it good enough to like specifically fly it around as a freestyle tiny whoop? If I didn't know what I know about the analog ones, oh, this battery's dead too. That sucks. Tune's pretty decent. Except for that. It just needs more D gain to get rid of that. Shit. To get rid of that wobble in prop wash. This is pretty fucking good, let's be honest. This is pretty fucking rad. This is yeah, this is good enough. But see, I'm gonna grab the analog ones every time. Like, you know what I'm getting at? Like, yeah, it's cool and all to fly in HD, but the analog rigs look kind of almost as good, right? Like,
telemetry lost.
God damn. Look at the it's all if I had moved all my stuff over to HDZero and I no longer had analog, I would not be disappointed at all in this setup. But as somebody who hasn't, I'm going to you know what it is? There's no benefit to flying around the house in HDZero versus, I would venture to say there's no benefit to flying around the house in digital versus analog. Analog inside the house is completely fine. There's no scraggle inside the house. Like, is it more enjoyable to fly in HD? I guess, but I'll take a 4 gram weight savings. A 4 gram weight savings is more enjoyable to me personally than flying in HD, right? Like, outside, Whole different story, whole different game. There's Scraggle, there's weird well, okay. So let's say this. Here, so let's talk about multipathing, right? If you're flying around, all right, Micro Mayhem, all right? Micro Mayhem is damn near unflyable in Analogue because of the multipathing. Everything in the room is either metal or concrete. So this fucking thing in Micro Mayhem, game over. Like, way better. Way better. We saw that this year. So if your flying environment is very multipath heavy, this is a real thing for you. This is a real thing for you. If you have switched all your stuff over to HDZero, this is your shit. This is your jam. If you are still split, digital and analog like me, I don't know. This is still, in that scenario, this is still kind of a novelty. If you like to rip, if you just like to chill out and just cruise around the house, maybe, but you're gonna get longer runtime, better flight performance from the analog Mobula6s. I wish I saved a battery to put a battery through these. Maybe there's enough charge in one of these. Hold on. I feel like I didn't get 4 full batteries of flying. Hey, 403. Hey, here we go. 403. We got enough in this one. Plugging in the VRX. And here we go. This is the one that overheats. This is the one with just a whip antenna, so this doesn't even have a proper antenna on it. Here we go. This is the rig with the Weebleed FPV motors, 28,500. This is actually kind of a really neat comparison because these motors have less kV, but it's lighter. Here you go. Oh, I'm so glad that I missed on one of these batteries. All right. Pay attention to flight dynamics and how much fun I'm having. I need a fun meter. Is there a way to wire a fun meter into OBS? Go upstairs real quick. I'll tell you what, man, that goddamn those motors on that rig really rail. Whew, boy, that was a lot of throttle to keep that. Yeah, I mean, you can just tell, like, this thing is just boogieing. And there's considerably more hang time. Ah, damn it. Where even am I? What? Come on. Why won't turtle mode work? What's happened? Did I kill it? Hold on. Did it die? Is it dead? Oh, fuck. Oh. Oh, man. Of all places to crash it, I crashed it into the goddamn wad of fake, the big wad of fake cobweb decoration. Oh, man. all 4 motors are completely locked up with this bullshit fake cobweb stuff from the Halloween decorations. Come on, are you kidding me? Oh God. Kill me. Oh, yuck. Oh, gross. It's in the top and the bottoms of the motors. That might be. Jesus Christ. Really? Alright, let's see. Will it fly ever again? Hey! It's fine! I can't believe that little throttle blip was enough to get it up into those fucking gates. Oh, almost twice. Where am I? Where am I? What the hell? Hey. That was wild. See that, like, those little throttle blips that turn into like enough momentum to do cool shit like that. That's what you don't get when you add the 4 grams. Oh God. Whoo! That was a big one. Yeah, this is more fun to fly, period. But of course it is. Of course it is. It's quite a bit lighter. Ooh! What did I hit? Oh! I can't believe I went through the... I was not trying to do that. Yeah, it's that second... It's the second gate that keeps getting me. Oh! Almost got in there. Oh! Boy! See, that's what's fun to me. Being able to see where I'm going is not as fun to me as being able to do a big, gnarly Matty flip like that. Will the it lands perfectly looking at the HDZero rig. Will the HDZero rig do it? Sure. But not nearly as consistently, not nearly as, with as much stank on it. So, yeah. Whew, man. Yeah, I mean, this is... And, sure, I would get used to this, but it's never going to make up for that weight difference. And, Jesus, this is just bananas. So, but, man, am I happy with this. I am blown away at how good this is with these 0702s. So... At the beginning of the stream, I said that I had a feeling the EX0802s on this rig are going to be... You're going to enjoy those more if you're flying in a bigger space or you're a fan of big power, blah, 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 blah. I don't know about that. I think at this point that these 0702 30,000s are the way to go. I just don't... If I don't need more power than these, then you're not going to either. June Loco says you should use triblades on the HDZero whoop. Why is that, June Loco? Bob Noxious says, some days we got it, some days we don't. Felix Torres says, just got in. Did you see the BB? Yep, saw him. June Loco says, told you it would fly better. June Logo says dental floss works great too. I think that's in reference to taking the props off, maybe. Oh no, getting the props to lock on. That's it. Yep. What else do we have here? Dingles says, is there a Cinesplore tune preset on Betaflight 4.3? I originally followed Bob's Emu Flight tune video from way back and want to know if I should put it back on Betaflight. Dingles, there's really no need to tune anymore. If you have a proper set of If you're at the right voltage and you got a decent set of motors and a good set of props, and that little system is properly, working together, there's really no need to tune anymore on Betaflight 4.3. The defaults on 4.3 are almost perfect in 99% of cases. It's really kind of ridiculous. So yeah, no need to do any tuning. Run Betaflight 4.3 on the defaults, and then if there's a specific problem, then you tune that specific problem out. But yeah, most of my stuff is now on defaults, and it's absolutely dialed. So yeah, that's going to be my opinion there. Go-Kart Mozart says, howdy everybody. Anybody else considering getting a Walk Snail VRX combo? I've got HD3 goggles with an HDMI input, but wonder how good it would look in those. Yeah, there's that new Walk Snail module. What I will say is that I hate my HD3s with that module on the front. They are extremely uncomfortable. It sits so far out that it makes the goggles want to come off my face. So then I got to run the strap up higher on my head, and then that like pulls the bottom into like down. It's no good. It's really, I can't believe how much less comfortable this set of HD3s is than this one without the module on it. I know that module is fairly cheap, but I would not want to wear these HD3s with this HDZero module on them for more than like a couple of batteries. It's just not good. Like you could probably even like kind of see it. Like it's just they're just pulling off of my face, and I've had to make this strap a lot tighter because of it, and yeah, I got to run this strap up higher to keep them from, because yeah, they just want to, I can tell because all of a sudden I have light leak on the top. Like with this module on them, the light leak is coming in from the top, not from the bottom. Whereas with the regular HD3s, the strap is a lot looser, and it's just a lot more comfortable. Like I don't have to run the strap up as high, and and it makes sense, right? Like they designed the goggles around the weight of the goggle. The DJI goggles are much taller, so the extra weight that they have is not as much of a deal. These are so narrow top to bottom that they're with the extra weight on the front, they just want to like kind of pull off your face. All that being said, it is a hell of a lot less expensive than buying a full set of the goggles, but this setup is it is not comfortable. It is hands down noticeably less comfortable than the DJI helmet. Obviously, it's going to be less comfortable than the HD3s without this hanging off the front, but this is even worse than the DJI helmet. All that being said, huge shout out to FPV Exchange for sending over all the HDZero stuff. Nevin is just the fucking man. And I'm super lucky to be able to use this and play around with this. But in fairness, this whole module hanging off the front thing, not comfortable. Not comfortable. So if you're gonna have it for like one rig that you just fly a couple of batteries on, awesome. But yeah, I would not expect to I would not want to do a whole day of flying with those goggles on. That would drive me insane. Man. Tiny whoops have come a long way. Let's get caught up on chat here, and then I'm going to wrap it up. It's getting late. B-Man says, what's up? June Logo says, Triblades. Michael D says, don't forget about the VRX. I did not, believe it or not. I've been much better about Rob Axelson says, better foam. I've tried like pretty much all the foams, and this is the fake like pleather basically foam. One of the things I like most about it is it's nice and thin, so the goggles sit really close to your face. The other foam would push the goggles out farther from your face, and it would make the situation even worse. This is the foam that most people kind of settle on with Fat Shark. So I'm pretty sure that different foam would actually make the situation worse because it would just give it, it would make a longer lever on the front, right? The farther out the weight is, the longer the lever is to try to tilt it down off your face. And yeah, like I said, I've tried all the foam over the years. I like this foam so much that I'll continue to sit here and pick at it and not replace it. Even though I do have a fresh one. But it's actually fine once you've picked all the pleather bits off. Man, HDZero Mobula6. If you've got one, if you're getting one, put it on 0702 30,000s. That is one hell of a combo, and it really helps out with the weight. Speaking of the weight, I forget what it weighed with the 0802s. I think I weighed it at the beginning of the stream. Does anybody remember? But with the big fat boy singularity antenna and the 0702s and the biblades, we're at 23.3 grams. That's not that bad, man. That's like what the newbie drone Acro B rigs used to weigh. That I flew a lot on 0802 25,000 kV motors and was very happy with. So we're at 23.3 compared to 19.6. So it's less than a 4 gram weight penalty. And these motors have plenty of power. These are the tinywhoop.com 0702 30,000 kV motors. Plenty of power. This is, with this current setup, I am not wanting more power. I'm wanting it to be even lighter, but I am not wanting more power. And that's kind of all that, like, in terms of choosing a motor and a prop combo, like, that's the goal. The goal is to, you know, not want more power, and then to have because that means that you've got, hopefully, typically that means you've got the lightest possible setup on here. I think this is kind of perfectly matched. I don't think that you would want to go any smaller on the motors or lower on the KV. I think the saving grace of these motors is the 30,000 KV. I think that maybe the Weebleed motors at 28,500 KV might not be quite enough. I couldn't tell the difference between them on the analog rigs. This would be a better test bed to be able to tell the difference because it's heavier, but I'll be goddamned if I'm going to direct solder it. Like, these motors are now on here forever. I'm not going to direct solder the Weebleed motors onto it. So if you can wait, B-Man, yep, we talked about them earlier. If you can wait for the Tiny Whoop 0702 30,000s to come back in stock, I think maybe you should do that because, again, this thing being so heavy, you're going to need all the help you can possibly get. On an analog Mobula6, don't wait. Get the Weebleeds right now. They're absolutely rocking. I'm impressed, man. I'm going to put this onto a... next week, we're going to fly this with the singularity antenna and then with a whip antenna. We'll try to get... Well, let's look. Let's look at the weight difference between putting a whip antenna on this guy. With the singularity, do I have one of those lightweight whip antennas floating around here? Guess not. With the singularity, it's 23.3. And then I'm actually going to put this onto the Mobula6. Yeah, I might as well have the better antenna on the Mob6. It can deal with the extra weight. So, what did I just say? 23.3 versus... Get off of there. Come on. There we go. Get out of there. $23.3 versus, damn, almost right on 23, 23.1. 0.2 of a gram. Man, the singularity is light. 0.2 of a gram for substantially worse video quality. That's actually a tough one. That's a really tough one. This is a whip antenna, Juju. There are the slightly lighter. Yeah, we could get this to 20. We could probably get this under 23 grams. Where's one of those little? Here's one. This is there's these stupidly lightweight whip antennas. One of which this comes with. Here, so the antenna that this thing comes with. This is actually a really good weight measurement right here, because this is like, as this thing ships, antenna wise, it's 22.5 without the antenna. Ooh, now we're talking 22.7. So you can get this thing down to 22.7. That's damn good. I'm gonna run it with this shitty little antenna that it ships with, and we'll see how bad the. I mean, I've already done this, and the reception is pretty poor on the HDZero system. And like that, it's hard to justify this because this makes the HDZero system more like Analogue. At which point it's like, what the hell? Why am I doing this, right? But let's do a little antenna smackdown on next. I'm gonna leave this shitty antenna on here to remind myself that we want to do a little antenna smackdown next week, or Friday if I'm just being insane. So yeah, there you guys go. Under 23 grams without sacrificing any durability, way more power than it comes out of the box with. No tuning problems. Arguably the tune is a little bit better on these motors because it's lighter on the corners and just overall lighter. That's pretty impressive, man. I'm pretty blown away by this. Man, it crashes hard. Good Lord, when it crashes, it like it hits. You tell it for sure. Rob Oxison says maybe a printed better support plate for the goggles. What do you mean by support plate? I don't know what a support plate is in terms of the goggles. B-Man said, no, we got that. Rob Oxison says, coming in late tonight, thoughts on the Walksnail pre-sale. Uncomfortable are my thoughts on the external goggle modules. I don't like them. Looks like we're caught up. Thanks for hanging, friends. Here's a little bit more flying, and I'll see you guys on Friday. Hopefully I'll be feeling a little bit better by then, because I still feel like a bucket of shit. Just a big old bucket of donkeys. What's this? What's this?
GoPro's up.
Oh, here's the hold on. Here's the other battery that I flew today with the 1404 rig. Didn't I fly 2 batteries with it? 2 megabytes? That ain't it. Is this it? 328? Oh, it stopped recording. What the hell? Yeah, it stopped recording. That's a shame. Well, here's the 1404 Rip Squeak battery in its entirety. Thanks for hanging out, friends. My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Head on over to CiottiFPV.com. Support your boy so I can keep doing this full time. Join my Patreon. Buy my stickers. Book me one-on-one. Whatever you want. And we'll do this thing together. Me and you. Cool? Oh, come on now. Work.